What is up, fam? Welcome back to the Car Talk podcast. Today it is bright and early. It is 6:40 this morning, and I'm unfortunately sick as a dog. All that traveling ended up catching up to me. I went this long without, testing positive for COVID, but unfortunately, between going to California and then also going to Minneapolis for VCon, I unfortunately tested positive yesterday. So I've been quarantined since, and you might be wondering, well, what the hell are you doing out in the car right now? And I'm actually taking out the garbage for my dad at his house. He's up at my cabin, or up at our family cabin, and then his wife's out of town as well, my stepmom. So I'm driving over there. I'm going to take out their garbage real quick, and I just figured, you know what, now's the perfect time to kind of share what's on my mind, and so that's exactly what I'm doing. And today I just really, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like self-awareness is something that I just need to talk about more. And so like how I kind of want to incorporate that with this is just like the way that you kind of find what you like to do is just by truly tasting stuff. Like, I know you guys heard my story with Gary Vee and stuff, and like how, ages all the way up to like 18 for me were really a tough struggle until I found his content. And a lot of what his content really had me start off doing right off the bat was find what you love to do. And obviously as an adult, that's kind of hard if you've got a chaotic life and you're, working a ton. But if you can't think of anything that you love to do now, you have to think back to like when you were a kid. Think back to like what you really enjoyed doing as a kid. Obviously for me, I loved fishing. So that was the first thing that I connected to when Gary said that. So I instantly thought that, but then I instantly knew that I needed to understand what I wanted to do with the industry and like what I wanted to do, because I love other things other than just fishing. So, I really needed to try a bunch of stuff essentially, and I'd like to say that's what I did. I worked a ton of different jobs too. So like I've tried a ton of different, things to make money, and the one thing that I never really tried to make money off of that I really started to enjoy at the time was creating content. So that's what I really wanted to lean into. And I basically understood that I'd be better off creating content and trying to make money or create a career doing that, as opposed to fishing and trying to create a living and a career doing that. And then I would allow myself to be able to pursue an even bigger passion and dream of mine for the fishing industry, which results in me taking zero money from them and giving all of that money back to the industry, whether it be for, research and education, or for, developing fishing teams in schools, or just honestly giving back to the community that, puts me on. So I seriously had to like think, what makes me happy. And like the other thing that really makes me happy is business. Like, so I had to incorporate how all of that was gonna kind of blend together. And the reason why I know I love business and I'm like an entrepreneurial minded guy is because ever since a child, I've been one that, in the winter times, we had a snow shoveling business, me and my buddy Drew. In the summertime, we had a lawn mowing business. Like, if we weren't planting flowers and, pulling weeds for somebody for money, like we were doing something else, lemonade stands, like we were always thinking of something. And it wasn't necessarily for the money. It was always, honestly, a lot of it was for the money. I'm not going to lie. Like we always would ride our bikes to Culver's, the dollar store, stuff like that. So we really needed money. But in addition to that, it was also like, just love to do it. And I know my buddy Drew, I think, loves to do it too, but he's kind of going on his journey of becoming more and more self-aware as he, lives and does stuff. And like, that's what I want more people to realize is like, just because you're 28, just because you're 35, just because you're 49, just because you're 57, doesn't mean that you are completely self-aware and you're doing it and you're managing your life and your lifestyle based off of what you love to do. But I genuinely think that no matter what age you are, even if you're 65 and say you're going to retire in the next 5 years, like, I would genuinely hope to inspire you to reevaluate what you love to do, how you love to spend your time, what makes you happy, you know, and like how you can provide for yourself despite either taking a huge pay cut or, you know, maybe not even taking a pay cut, but doing kind of what I did where, you know, you're working your normal amount of hours, but you're building a side opportunity or a side gig on the side, which is creating content. That's free. You know, obviously it takes time to do, but if you've got a couple hours at night, you can definitely start that way. And then eventually you can cut back the hours and start budgeting a little bit tighter and just, you know, stop buying the things that you don't necessarily need, you know, stuff like that, so that you can end up working half the amount of hours that you're working and doing whatever it is, whether it's fishing, creating, sewing, cooking, whatever it may be on the other, you know, on your other schedule. So it's like, I really want everybody to have an equal blend, you know, because life is short. Like, that's something that I keep learning from all these successful people that I love listening to on podcast form. It's like, they all say, like, life flies by. Like, 5 to 10 years isn't anything, but it seems like it's everything, you know? Like, it seems like it's so far away, but yet, in all reality, it's really not. And if you keep a consistent perspective and mindset and can understand that delayed gratification is super, super satisfying, like, you're gonna succeed and you're gonna be happy because you're gonna prioritize everything that does make you happy as opposed to that does make you money. Like, that's the biggest difference between what I believe and I believe what society is adapting and has adapted to, is just, like, success is in how many trophies you get, how much money you make, how many, you know, foreign cars you have, how many homes you have. Like, it's all rooted in materialistic things, but, like, I truly think success is rooted in happiness. Like, and I know that sounds cliche, but genuinely, if you can be a happy individual and live within your means and do whatever that is throughout your, you know, day, like, you're a winner in my book. I would way rather hang out with somebody like you than somebody that, you know, works 60 hours a week doing something that they don't necessarily love, but allows them to come home to a Ferrari in the garage and a Lamborghini as a daily driver. Like, I would rather hang out with the first guy that doesn't even have a car, but genuinely is happy. Like, that's just how I am, and that's how I believe this world is gonna change to, because the fulfillment that you get from somebody or something that's materialistic is nowhere near the fulfillment that you get from somebody that actually values their time, their energy, and their happiness. And I'm not even just saying that just to say that. Like, I say that because, like, those types of people are freaking special. Like, those are the types of people that are going to change this world for the best. Those are the types of people that are going to actually impact your own happiness. The person that you might be hanging out with that is about the materialistic stuff and about impressing the, you know, the people around them and stuff, unfortunately, those people are going to be people that are going to make you feel lesser than them, even if you do have more than them. Like, it's going to become a peeing contest. Like, who's got the nicer car? Who's got the bigger house? Like, you know, who's bringing in more money? Like, that's not what it's about, fam. It's not about that. And I hope to inspire you to just live within your means with this podcast and to do whatever it is that makes you happy. And again, like, I have so much empathy towards the people that don't know what makes them happy. But please do what Gary told me to do and lean into whatever it was that made you so happy when you were a kid, and or just go back to all the things that you haven't tried and try them. Like, literally as simple as that. Painting, art, cutting hair, you know, whatever it is, like creating content, like any industry you could think of that might even, you know, attract you a little bit. Like, anything that you can think of, I hope to inspire you to try it, because it's so worth it, fam. Like, your life is it's so worth trying to make it more happy and make it more fun and make it more pleasurable every single day. Like, it takes 5 years to change your life and to change your lifestyle and to change the habits that your life is consisted of, but 5 years isn't long. Like, unless if you're 75, like 5 years might mean you're retired, but I think people are working even into their 80s. I don't even know. But either way, like, 5 years isn't much, and a lot of you guys that are listening to this are gonna be young, like, and 50 years old is young, 60 years old is young. Anything over 75, you're getting a little bit older, I'm not gonna lie, but I still think this would still apply to you, and I really think that, eventually this is gonna apply to the whole world, and I think that this is gonna be what the world thinks is cool, and I can't wait for that. I really can't. I think that's gonna be amazing, because this world needs to become a better place, in my opinion. And the only way that we can do that is by spreading our happiness, and the ones that are happy just need to coach the ones that aren't happy into becoming happy. And so, yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys can learn something from my own journey, because like I said, man, I really, really struggled. Like, I was at this house 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 to 7 years ago, right? I want to say like senior year of high school, and I'm 23 now, so about 6 years ago. And I was such a confused kid. I had these huge dreams, I had these huge ambitions, but I never knew how to get from point A to point B. And I just kept driving myself into the dirt, just thinking that there was a quick way to get to where I wanted to be. And there is no quick way, fam. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut or fast forward button for success, fam. Because success is truly happiness, and that takes time. It takes time to become happy. It takes time to reframe your mental perspective and your mindset, because that's what's needed when you come from a family that prioritizes money over other things, and it takes a lot of time to break that. You can get physically fit in about 6 months to a year, depending on your body type, but you really, really, really have to dedicate a lot of time to getting mentally and spiritually healthy, and that's, I would say, at least 5 years. So, but fam, like, remember, don't get intimidated by 5 years. 5 years isn't anything, and in the grand scheme of things, 5 years is gonna be everything. When you look back at, kind of similar to what I'm doing, you're gonna look back and be so thankful that you did all the work that you did to be the individual that you are, and to be able to make the waves that you're gonna be able to make. Such an insane, amazing, rewarding feeling. And with that being said, fam, just hope you all stay curious, stay kind. If you've got that happiness inside you, please share it. Share it in one way or another. Shoot a friend a text. Tell them you love them. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys. I really, really, really do. I'll see you guys next podcast. Peace.